So, about to do some commentary on the MikeChike versus Seprix match that's going to happen here. Um, yeah, so that'll be good. I've also been asked to do um, something that I'm going to apologize for, but you can blame Seprix for this. What care I for my house and my land? What care I for my treasure? Yeah, no, I'm not doing any more of that. Um, okay. And looks like Seprix is ready. Um, ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da da ba da da ba da da ba da ba da ba da ba 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 ba. Yeah, ba ba da ba 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 da bum. Ba 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 da 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 ba ba da bum. Yeah, ba ba da ba. Yeah, ba da bum. Yeah, ba ba da 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 ba ba da bum. Ba da ba da bum. Ba da ba dum. Ba da 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 ba da. Ba 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 da ba. Ba ba da bum. Bum ba da 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 ba bum ba dum bum. Not sure what we're waiting on at this point. Ba 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 da ba. Ba ba da bum. Ba ba da 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 ba ba dum bum. Ba ba da ba da. Ba ba da bum. Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 bum. Bum bum ba da bum. Ba da ba dum. Bum bum ba da 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 ba ba da bum. And after some false starts and almost half an hour late, due to a number of various factors, it looks like we're ready. Okay, so first board, Colony, that's worth noting. Uh, Rebuild can be a thing. Market Square can be a thing. There is a village in Blessed Village. The only halfway draw kind of thing is Counting House, though. You can thin with Mint. Um, so, okay. Let's see. Um, well, let's see. If you thin down, you could get the only thinning is Mint, so you can't really thin that well. Um, I'm not sure what's best here. Like, okay, what I would want to do, and this is not good, but what I would want to do is to like do some goons thing and then counting house and then ha 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 ha. Um, It's probably really bad. You could do some weird Blessed Village Goons counting house thing with enough treasuries. You can make it so that you're dead. Nah, that doesn't work. Um, um, I don't really like the Nomad camp because you have better things you want to do with your terminals, but maybe he really wants to spike something big fast. Um, Yeah, I agree. You want to get platinum, you just have to play a moneyish kind of deck. Goons is still really, really good because the discard attack is really good, but the points aren't going to get you over the top with colonies on board and not being able to play that many. Um, I still want to play with Counting House, but there's just no way it's good. Um, you probably do want to mint at some moment. Um, wow, he had 5 coppers and a silver. How do you get 6 cards? How do you get six? Oh, from the boon. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, that looked really good. Um, I think minting 5 coppers away is just fantastic. This should be a treasury, I think. How crazy is getting a rebuild? Probably a bit crazy. Is it? It probably is. Um, I guess you could play for something with goons and rebuild, like where you're trying to keep them down with the goons attack, and then you rebuild stuff. But this seems a bit slow. Like, since you have to wait to start rebuilding, I think it's too slow. Um, a lot of terminals here on Seprix's side, but I guess in the face of a goons attack, it's not that bad. With 2 estates, it's still kind of bad. Um, I'm not. I haven't been keeping close enough track of the boons, but there's like action boon and trashing boon. Action boon would make you want to keep both terminals. Trashing boon wants you to keep the estate. Um, sure. Well, this is a really good top deck inspection one. Well, Seprix did get a mint off. Zyrix in the chat thinks that rebuild is playable. But I think if you try to go rebuild from the start, someone can score a lot of points on goons. I'm not sure. I think the goons is enough, and because colony like takes longer to rebuild all that stuff into and is more points. I'm not sure. I'd try to play against it, but I guess it wouldn't stun me the most if it's okay. I'm not sure about getting all these villages though. Wow. Well, this should be a mint from Mike. Okay, and he does. So now you trash an estate. Do you react the market square is kind of interesting. I lean towards no, and Seprix doesn't. Okay, so this is fine, but I would mint a gold here. And he does. And so I think he probably wants a second goons. He has a lot of villages. A lot of villages, if I remember right. So goons is probably better. Um, Here I think you discard goons and market square. But these are all pretty tricky. The problem, I think, with the rebuild strategy, going back to that thought, is that if you go rebuild, it's going to be difficult for you to get goons. And if you're not discard attacking the other person, then that player with the goons and the mint to thin down a little bit and the stuff here is going to be able to get up to enough points fast enough that they can get maybe 2 colonies, I think is kind of the goal. And then with all the goons points, I think that should work out well for the goons player. But the key point is that you're not uh, you're not being discard attacked. Lol at pointless misplay. Okay. I'm not entirely convinced by discarding for a wisp there, but discarding, what was that? That was for a border village? I guess, I don't know, that's probably okay. But like all these extra villages are only okay. This could even be another mint. It's probably not very good, but of course, at the rate this is going, it's going to end on piles, as they're still pretty far away from getting a lot of big stuff. Um, Maybe not. Like there isn't really an obvious third pile, and it's too soon to go for. Um, I wouldn't mind getting rebuild around now, though. Maybe? I don't know. Your hand space is pretty constrained. Yeah, it's probably no good. You want to keep getting golds, and wow, I'm really not sure about that. I wonder if it's ever right to goons before you grove. Um, I guess it probably is, because enough of the boons, it's helpful to discard attack first, and it's not like you're going to be pinched on actions. It's probably right too. I think that's probably just a misplay. Yeah, I think I like treasury here. You're just going to build for a long time because of the colonies. But here, like all these villages, they're kind of eh. They're kind of eh. It's going to be really hard to get to 9, but yeah, like this, you hit 8, but you don't hit 9. It's going to be really, really hard to hit 9. Treasuries can help you, I guess, a little bit. The wisps, maybe. Um, Flame. Oh, flame as well. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's generally just better to play the goons first. Um, Now, where does this game stand? It's really hard for me to tell. That seems to be a lot of goons from Seprix, maybe too many goons from Seprix. Maybe not. Maybe you can just get a lot of goons. But I do start to worry just a teeny bit about the piles. What did he discard there? Golden Market Square. Yeah, that's probably okay. He has more golds, I'm pretty sure, and having more golds is a decent place to be. Uh, how this game is going, it does make me wonder just a teensy bit about something that kept more coppers and goes for counting. Yeah, that can't be good because you're just not going to see your goons often enough. Yeah, okay. Six here should probably be another goons, although I guess he has two goons in play. He could be thinking about, I'm going to go for points, like goons double copper, or double market square copper, or something like that. It's very unlikely that you're going to get more than two goons in play later, but my gut is that it's still a little bit too early to go for these coppers. Um, okay, he decides to do it. I think it's a little bit too early still. Okay, treasury. Goons first? No. All right. Um, Now, is this another goons? Is it a treasury in another market square? What is going on here? Market squares are good because they're cantrips that are eventually points at the end of the game with the goons. Whoa, province and copper. Oh, I really dislike these coppers from Seprix. The province I could see. The the coppers seem way too early. It was only 1 point. It's yeah, I really dislike it. And Single T in the chat makes a good point about Raider. Raider might actually be like reasonable to playable here because you want to be able to hit the high price points a couple times. Like as he says, spikiness is good. So I hadn't thought of that, but that's a good point. I'm not sure about the gold there. Um, so part of the problem why I don't like a lot of these coppers is the goons can run out, but like the market squares aren't really that close to running out, which is the next pile, right? So I just like just waiting more, particularly from Seprix's side. We'll see what he does here. Um, I'm not really sure what his plan is. Like he's just getting Dutch. He's just saying I'm going to score points now, but if he does this, then Mike can avoid ending the game and play for a longer game. I guess maybe Seprix's point is that you can't really play for a longer game. You get a treasury here if you want to do that, and I think you have to play for a longer game as Mike because Seprix has all these points, and he's bought all these extra coppers that Mike or as Mike his deck should be better. The only other option that he could go for is like counting house and a lot of coppers to play for a longer game, but I really don't like the duchy and all these coppers. I think it's still too fast, too soon for that. Um, all these villages and a whiff, and he gets another duchy. I assume it's the only way to be consistent, but it doesn't really look like it's working out very well. Um, and okay, so Mike can play a shorter game here. Three goons with only not being able to play both is kind of bad. At this point, he should definitely be getting coppers, I think. He probably also get a duchy. I'm not sure really who's ahead. I guess Mike is probably ahead, but yeah, then you get something like this and it turns around again. So I don't know. He's going to go duchy double copper. These coppers that are worth 2 points are a lot better than the ones that are only worth one, of course. Um, yeah, this is really bad for Mike now. Seprix looks like he's very far ahead. And it looks like the piles here are going to be duchy and goons probably. Although getting that last goons might be a little bit tricky. So we're not totally sure. There's no real good play here for Mike. I guess he could go double estate, but at this point in the shuffle, it's tricky. The counting house is starting to look better and better, though, if they're getting all these coppers anyway. But I don't think, in principle, in general, it was good, even if it would have worked out okay for them here against exactly what their opponents have done. You can't know that that's going to happen. So this will be duchy copper copper, and then Mike can go province copper. But province copper still leaves him pretty far behind. So now this is an interesting call on what Seprix does here. Marcus square copper copper is what I would guess. I'm still not sure if it's good. If you've been getting the coppers before, you get them now, right? But like your deck is so bad now, you're not actually hitting goons that often. I don't know who has more goons. I think Seprix has more goons. But you start to get like hands like these from either player, and I just think they greened too soon. And by greened, I actually mostly here mean the coppers more than actual green cards, but okay. So now Mike has a choice. Like, I kind of expect him to go duchy copper, but like this is kind of, or in a bunch of coppers, but this is kind of just a losing play. He could go like estate in a bunch of coppers, but this is similarly a losing play. Um, I'm pretty sure that duchy is better because like what? If Seprix had 6 here, he's still in a great shape, right? So I don't know about that. And Seprix just gets to win here. But yeah, I don't know. I think they went for points a little bit too soon here. Herptider, I'm gonna go to play Sacred Grove. It doesn't matter what he gets here. Doesn't he realize that the goons or the estates they both pile? And he sees the estate. Okay. Well, I don't know. I still think they went for points a little bit too soon, but it worked out for Seprix, so what do I know? He got a lot more green cards. He actually had points from green. Right, they had an equal number of provinces, but he won the duchy split by a lot. So I don't know. I think that was too soon on the points, but I'm going to pause and come back for the next game in a separate video.